So as you're doing your homework or starting your homework, you'll find it on UB Learns, which is where you found this link anyway. But you'll see there's a link to the homework document, there's a link to the test files, and I wanted to go over a little bit of how to use these test files and how I think best practices are for doing your homework. So you open the homework document, it's a link to a UB Box folder file, so you'll need to log into UB Box, but it looks like this. There's 2 problems for homework 1. They're on different pages. And then there's also a link to the test files. So you cannot download the homework document, so you'll just keep it on your browser. But you can download the test files. You'll see this file's locked, so you can't download it. So just download the test files, right-click or click download. When you do that, you'll find them in your downloads. And I really recommend that you organize things by files. So I have them in my downloads, but I'm going to go ahead and move them to my documents where I created an EAS 230 folder, created a homework folder, and paste them in there. Okay, so that's getting everything ready. I read through the document, start thinking about what I'm going to do for the homework, how to calculate all these things, and then I go to MATLAB. So MATLAB, open up. In MATLAB, I'm going to navigate in my current folder to those files that I just copied and pasted. So you'll see here it's under my C drive, users, EH32, documents, EAS230, homework 1. Wherever your path is in Mac, it'll be probably your home drive or somewhere on your cloud-based. I generally keep all my files on Box, which you can see here's a file to Box. So wherever you have it, you should be able to see in Finder or here in Windows Explorer. But you can navigate there through your current folder in MATLAB. So here, once again, it's my path. It's the C drive, users, EH32, documents, EAS230, homework 1. And I can navigate to Box or whatever cloud drive I have as long as I have it also the files stored on my computer. Okay, so I've got my files in my folder. I'm going to create a new script. I'm going to type my comments, type my name at the top. Maybe type my semester, whatever, something to indicate when it was written. It's not fall, spring 2025, and my document. So homework 1, problem 1. Go ahead, write my code, do my calculations, A equals 2 plus 3, whatever. And then I'm going to go ahead and save it. Save it the name that's listed in the document. So HW1P1 is the first homework. And notice it's saved as a .m file. So save and you'll see HW1P1.m. Whenever you're done writing your code, write your code, do your calculations, get it to work without any errors. Then, when you are done with that, you will go to the files that you downloaded. You will right-click and press Run. When you run, you will read everything that's output in the command window. So if you don't have any semicolons here, if you don't have any semicolons, all of whatever your code outputs, everywhere there's not a semicolon is going to print something out under file output. And then under there, you'll see grading. So it'll ask you, okay, is your file named correctly? Give you points. Runs without errors? Give you points. If it does have errors, it will stop and tell you to fix the errors, and you cannot see any points associated with it. So if it runs without errors, you'll see those 2 points. Then it'll grade all the variables. It'll check your workspace over here, check to see, okay, does your workspace, when this file's run, you won't see the files when you run the test code, but it is checking your workspace. It'll see, okay, do you have a variable named X in your workspace? If not, I don't. So it says, variable's not found. You need one named X. Make sure you run your code to check for errors. Grade variable Y. It's not there. If you did have X, so let's say I had a variable named X. Named X. Caps lock is on. Now I reran it. It would say, oh, okay, yay, you have a variable named X, that's great, but your value is incorrect. So my value, it was 5, because I just did 2 plus 3, and it expected this really long number. So you'll be able to check to make sure, okay, given the huge equation you need to calculate in your homework, did you get the right answer? How close are you? Okay, and it literally needs all those numbers. Same thing with Y. I don't have a Y, so I would go ahead and say, okay, my other variable is supposed to be named Y, and I'm supposed to have this calculation. I can go, I can run it again, and you can run it as many times as you need. Just going through the homework document that you have pulled up, side by side, however you want to do it. Typing your code, making adjustments over and over and over until you get it right. But make sure you don't have any errors when you run your code. When you're running this one, every time you make a change, plus sign of 15, every time you make a change, you want to run your code, make sure there's no errors. Once you think you've double checked everything, then you would go ahead and test your code, check to see if it works, make adjustments, run your code again, make sure there's no errors, test your code, and repeat over and over until you have gotten all of the points. Once you have completed your homework, then you will go back over to UBLearns, and there's 2 submission links. There's always going to be 1 submission link per problem. So sometimes it's more than 1 file. Sometimes it's just 1 file. In this instance, it's just 1 file. So you would go ahead, submit HW1P1 here. I am not in student mode. He was a student. So give me 2 seconds. If you want to just submit, you can always go to assignments. You can't see them yet, but you'll submit your file here. You'll just upload your file. The submission links open on Wednesdays, but you'll submit your file and submit HW1P1 here, submit HW1P2 here. And note, they have to be .m files, which is what you see over in your current folder. Okay, so that's the process with how to run your homework. Write your homework, look at the homework document, write your code to the best of your ability, run your code over and over until there's no errors, and then test your code by running the test file. Read all of this output. Make sure you've got everything checked and you're adding up points appropriately. You'll see your final grade. Make adjustments as you go along until you have all the points, and then submit it to UBLearns.